On a summer evening, I set out to film a group of mountaineers. To assure an early start for their climb, they camped out in a remote area near their destination. They slept for about 3 hours, then began preparations for the climb. As they leave the tree line and make their way across a rocky slope, they get their first look at one of the majestic Tetons in the distance. Their first objective is to reach the lower saddle, passing campsites of those who have slept on the mountain.
And then what? And then over here is Sommerfeldt Dome, Yoki's Tower, Spalding Cave. What we're looking at right here is the middle Teton. You can't quite see the top. You're seeing a front abutment on it.
That's the Exum, lower Exum. Wall Street basically comes, see where that black notch is? Yeah. It's kind of right in that area. It's called what they call the Otter Body snowfield. A bunch of people got killed up there. They took off and thought they could just climb it today, and they were unprepared for the weather, and the weather turned in on them, and they ended up standing like 3 days. 2 people died up there. They had to rescue them. Okay, this is Ne per se here, the top. We have the hourglass couloirs that form a run out.
As the group leaves the bouldered moraine, they come to a solid rock wall that is an obstacle between them and the lower saddle, which is their next objective. With the aid of a permanently fixed rope, they make their way up and over the imposing wall. At the lower saddle, they take a well-deserved break and eat some snacks to restore their energy for the climb ahead. Their next objective will be to make their way to the upper saddle and then on to the final peak. It's in this stretch that they begin to feel the significant effects of the high altitude and the thinning air above 10,000 feet. Each step from here on requires more effort. They're at almost 13,000 feet when they reach the upper saddle, and they can feel it. The final 800 vertical feet will be the most difficult. But they get an unexpected rest at the beginning of the Owen Spalding summit route. They must wait for a group that's having some trouble on the first belay. As our group starts across the exposure, an unfortunate mishap occurs. The battery pack pops off of my video camera and tumbles over 2,000 feet to the Cascade Valley floor below. I'm forced to record the final and most dynamic section of the climb with still photographs. We find ourselves waiting again at the second belay as the group ahead of us slowly makes their way up toward the summit. We split the group into 3 rope parties to accelerate our ascent toward the summit. We hear ours and other groups giving the commands of on belay and climbing until we finally attain the summit.
In the distance I can see storms begin to grow. Darkness out ahead.
We're delayed for over 2 hours at the repelling points by an accumulation of people and an unexpected hailstorm that rolls in.
Answers here, answers there. Then a whisper softly comes, I will let you know.
Eventually the storm subsided and the group was able to safely make their way off the mountain.
Like so many years ago, on the way to Emmaus, his words of love and hope, and our hearts burn within us as we walk down this road. Take the hand of the Prince of Peace to our Father's home. In the still of the soul, the quiet of my heart, I bow my head in humility, yearning deep, reaching far. I'm pleading with faith for direction. I want to do His will. Then a whisper softly comes, I am with you still. And our hearts burn within us like so many